Good morning, everybody. Just a quick sound check, make sure you can hear me. This is Gleason from MajorLeagueTrading.com, and this is the MLT Morning Trade Plan. It is December 6, 2018, and this is a reminder to follow your rules and trade your plan. Economic reports before the bell. Obviously, markets, guys, yesterday were closed in memory of George H.W. Bush. Before the bell at 5 a.m., we had Bank of England MPC member Robson giving a speech. 7:30, Challenger job cuts. 8:15, non-farm employment change. 8:30, Canadian trade balance and initial jobless claims. And 8:35, Bank of Canada Governor Polaz spoke. After the bell at 9:45, final services PMI. And then at 10 a.m., FOMC Powell Senate testimony and ISM non-manufacturing PMI. At 10:30, we're going to have the natural gas storage. At 11 a.m., EIA, crude oil stocks change. At 11:30, the 4-week bill auction. Before the bell, earnings reports, nothing too big here. After the bell today, AVGL, Lulu, and Ulta. So let's move on to the previous day's summary for the S&P 500. Our bell-to-bell high of the prior day, all the way up at 27.87. Bell-to-bell low was 26.97. And the settlement was 27.0175. Point of control 27.0175 as well, and then value area high 27.7275, value area low 27.03. So value is well above us here, guys. Volume on the session was 2.5 million contracts, so lots of volume there. Overnight high 27.14, overnight low 26.4975. Big candle down here on that first 5 minutes. Floor trader pivot point support and resistance levels. Start with the R levels. R4A 28.8175, R3 28.50 quarter, R2 28.1875, R1 27.60 quarter. Pivot point 27.28, S1 26.70 quarter, S2 26.3875, and S3 down at 25.80 quarter, with S4A at 25.2175. Huge range here in the overnight session, guys. For our 10-day range analysis, the previous day 90-point range, which is the largest range we've had over the last 10 days. So that was Tuesday. We're not counting Wednesday's action. So Tuesday, 90-point range. That is the largest range we've had over the last 10 days. Our median's been 28.6. So more than 3 times the average move so far. And on top of that, we've already extended today here 40 points to the downside. The entire session was 94.5, overnight 23.25, and first hour was 17.75. So really big breakdown. Tuesday's numbers. S&P down 3.19%, Nasdaq down 3.6%, Dow 3.1%, Russell 4.2% to the downside over the last 5 days. Believe it or not, all of the markets are positive, but the Russell volatility continues to be around and present. Over the last 10 days, the Russell is negative, the Nasdaq is leading, and on a year-to-date basis, the Russell is the only market trading into negative territory based on the close of Tuesday. So let's move in, show you guys, excuse me, a couple of levels that I'm looking at, what I see here. Now, we were trading into extension shorts going into the close of Tuesday, and I'm going to show you guys what that is. Got to go out to a higher time frame here. I'm going to go start with a 30-minute chart, 10-day 30-minute chart. So we broke down super aggressively Tuesday, right, guys? We came into the day halfway back short sequence, and then we had the low from Monday drawn to the low. This is what we had in the last video I did, which was Tuesday night. The negative 23% downside target was 26.85, and the negative 61 was right here at 26.57, which is really what's just traded. We have found lows. We have found shorts covering at this negative 61. Now, what's going to be interesting is in the morning when the market opens, do we hold below the low from 27.02 to low? So I am going to wait to see what that level is when we open, because it would be a regular trading hours only. We've technically broke the extended session, extension to extension. So two sequences I'm watching here to the downside. Support needs to be confirmed by breaking one of these. The same anchor new low sequence from that Monday low to low has a 38% retracement at 26.97. That level should be aggressively paid attention to. Okay, 26.97. That is a very important resistance level. And then the other is going to be from 27.02 to low. And I'm just going to leave that up right now. I'm going to delete this extension here just because it's not in play right now. I'll redraw it. I don't like having things on my screen that are not in play. They're sometimes just make things too noisy. I will redraw it. But first thing this morning, I see us battling. Even though we've already broke this extension, I see us battling on these levels. I want to know where the lows end up being once the market opens, and then draw that 27.02 low to whatever that low is. I don't know what that low will be, but when it comes to the open, I'll know that level. So I have to wait for the market to open to know the exact level. But right now I'm just going to leave it at that. Bias is to the downside. Major resistance level is 26.97, and I would love to see that trade. Gold, really eager to break out here. There's this extension long we talked about. The support levels were 1240 half and 1238.3. Now 1240 half traded on Wednesday. Obviously, it was pretty sloppy, but here it's held pretty well. Upside targets on this move are 1251. I think gold's in a pretty technical move to the upside right now, especially on the hourly time frame. Just backing out to the daily, I know I've been talking about this for quite some time, but on Tuesday, the 4th of December, we basically had the highest close since July. So gold is broken out, and we basically have this one little high left for this consolidation at 1246. We're really coming up on that, and then we're going to be moving up to the 1264 targets, which I do believe will complete before the end of the year. So it's a very important level for me in gold. Okay. Let's move on now. The Dow. So the Dow, same thing. Had the low extension from Monday to low, and that completed negative 61.8% profit targets. We've just gotten destroyed here. That low to low, it did pierce. A lot of times, that's what's so tough when you get these like massive spikes in the first 5 minutes. That it's very hard to stay technical, but that low to low sequence has a downside target of 24,451. So I'm going to set an alert. That looks like that's where that market wants to go. That's what that looks like. So downside target there in the Dow is that level. I'm not even going to leave this on here. It's impossible to trade supports here. It's just a bad game to play. All right, moving on to the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ almost traded the same anchor new low. So NASDAQ, the low from the overnight session, 69.80 to low, trades once to target. We actually trade a same anchor new low on Wednesday, and then same anchor new low here. I have to look at a smaller time frame. Actually traded into the open of the Sunday night. So we traded into targets rallied into a same anchor new low, that has a valid downside target here at 65.60. 65.60 is a valid downside target right now in the Nasdaq, and resistance really doesn't come into play until the second test, 67.70. These ranges are so big, there's no reason we can't retest 67.70 and then fall from there. So I'm paying attention to the higher time frame resistance levels. What we want to watch is both the 50 and 38% retracements of these extensions. You got to have those levels ready to trade. So that's what I have here in the Nasdaq, 67.70 and 68.10. For oil, nice little gap fill from last Friday. There was apparently some news out of Saudi Arabia that they weren't going to cut as much as anticipated. Now, coming out of highs, we did have a halfway back short that traded to target, and then that swing high from the overnight session to low has traded at 51.77. So if we break 52.13, that's a break of the sequence, but right now we'd be going into a second test, which I wouldn't be interested in. Downside target is 49.51, and that lines up with the prior lows of the previous week. So that would be something that I would be interested in for a potential reversal, that 49.51 here. Oil's in more of a consolidation with a bearish bias. Before it was just straight bears. But right now that's what I have. There would be a second test here. So if we broke above 52.13, you could say, hey, the next pullback on the first test will be valid. This 53.80 is still higher time frame resistance, is 53.80 here. I'm gonna come in and edit that up. And then above that, there's still, I have a 55.35 resistance level, 55.35, that I'm paying attention to. But guys, we want to, for the Russell, the extension is these are the higher time frame extensions. Now, I don't know if we're going to trade these today, tomorrow, or next week, but these extensions are very important because they're going to control the downtrend. When we were in the uptrend, when extensions break, that's when the trend flips. So that's why it's really important to watch where these levels are. This extension here in the Russell, resistance level is 1482.4 right now. 1482.4, set an alert there. That's the 38% retracement. And then you're going to want to watch the 50% retracement as well, which is 1491. My ideal situation today is, like, if we get down to lows, make some kind of divergence, fail to hold below that low, and then rally like all the way up. Ideally, that's what I would like to see. If we can rally all the way up into that same anchor new low, like tag lows, fail to hold below them, and then rally all the way back into the extension short, which right now is at 26.97. But I do think before we go significantly further, we need to trade these extensions again. So I am anticipating some type of formation to happen and us to get above, basically, if we start trading above 26.75, that's when I'm going to be looking for the move up into 26.97. So that is roughly a 20-point move of opportunity once we start breaking. But I don't want to be early here. I want to see us rotate up, and then when we get up into those resistance levels, I want to be a seller down into new lows. Whether or not we get those is to be determined. But these are my major resistance levels above. I'm not interested in selling into the hole here. My favorite market right now, my favorite trend is this gold long sequence. Its upside target is 1251. And the indexes need to just make a couple moves before I'm really interested in trading them. So I want to see us rally for an opportunity to sell in the indexes. Other than that, gold is my favorite market here to the upside. But anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up my morning trade plan, what I'm looking at, what I'm looking for. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and let me know. Otherwise, I'll end this here. Share you my levels. Everybody trade safe. Tomorrow morning, I will not be here, just so we are clear. And if anybody asks tomorrow morning, you can tell them I'm gone. I have a fishing trip booked, so I have to go catch my dinner. But everyone have a great day, and I'll see you guys here in the MLT Power Hour.